catches, puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
Oh yeah. We packing somebody up tonight. Hey. Come on in, take your shoes off before we close the door. Few rules, heat packing the air, we about to blow. This the basement, ain't nobody safe, you already know. Grab a seat and kick your feet before you get too comfortable. You want the X's and the O's, the trade, yes and no. Friends and the foes, the butlers and the heroes. You can feel it in your soul, the win the ring is the goal. But if somebody need to go, we be sure to let you know. Going hard for my dogs is an everyday thing. Like Jimmy down the lane of 13 off the screen. Whole squad keep it tucked like number 17. Bring your takes and your memes, going hard for the team. Going down in the basement. It's going down in the basement. Get your takes off. Get your takes off. Going down in the basement.
Yeah. Welcome to the Basement Sports Network Postgame Show. I'm your host, Royal A. Shepherd. And today I think Miami got an ass whooping that was coming, that was due. Yeah. Getting Cooper Flag, blow this shit up. Hey, listen, bro. Look, this was the difference between kind of the class of the East and the team that Miami is fielding out there. They were beaten by 20 points, which could have been more. Boston just kind of threw in the towel at the end of the game because, like, this game wasn't competitive at all. Like, Miami looked outclassed from the beginning. People want me to drop the link so they can come in here and talk to me. Sure. Let me bring my boy Martell up in here. Martell, from the Miami Heat Zone podcast. We've been trying to get together on the pod for a while. Martell, I'm going to text you the link so that you can come up here and then maybe we can talk. You can email it to yourself or whatever so you can get on from your computer. But I'm going to allow Martell to get up here so that he can tell his side of it. But just watching the game, look, we didn't get what we needed from any goddamn body. Let's start with Bam. I mean, that's been the hot topic for everybody. I was about to say capture the flag. That's funny. Let's start with Bam. Bam has been probably the biggest disappointment in the eyes of most Heat fans. And today was no different. 6 of 18, 15 points. He was 1 of 4 from the three-point line. He never got into a rhythm. And this was a game where people thought, I know I for one thought that this could be a game where Bam could potentially kind of right the ship offensively. They were missing Al Horford. They were missing the other guy, Kristaps Porzingis. They were missing the other shooter, Sam Hauser. And they just, I don't know, like, you're just not getting anything offensively from Bam. And I think, like, a lot of people are giving Bam a pass for this season, considering all these deaths. But I just think we're watching a slow march to death. I don't want to necessarily put this one thing on Bam. Like, I know everybody, that's the popular thing to do. Shit on Bam, shit on Terry. But this entire build as a whole is dead. Like, we're not getting what we need from anybody. And you can talk about Tyler Herro's kind of like early season explosion. But again, like, there's you have games like tonight that kind of lean into my point that there will be games where he's inefficient and he will eventually plummet down to the numbers that we're accustomed to seeing from him. Tonight, he was 16 of 19 for 19 points, 2 of 10 from 3. I'm going to bring Martell on the stage so that he can go ahead. Martell, what's going on, gang? How are you?
What's good, brother?
Chilling, man, chilling. Give me your thoughts on the game, man. Like, what did you think watching this?
Bro, they made Peyton Pritchard look like Kobe Bryant. You know, they made that dude Luke and but bro, Royal, you see what it looks like to have a decent to semi-decent big man? Yeah. They had Luke look like like he was blocking everything moving. He looked like prime Ibaka out there, and it's just like this is like the biggest thing, Royal. Our best player is cooked. I think that Jimmy Butler, he's been great. What we've been able to do is great. The memories, the runs. However, when your best player is 35 years old and he's nowhere to be found and his body's breaking down in front of us, we can't even blame Bam and all these other guys anymore. It's like what you just said. The bill is cooked. Now, I will say, Bam Adebayo, yes, it's a new offense, but then at the same time, why does he look like he doesn't even want to shoot the ball anymore? He doesn't look at the rim. He would rather set screens and try to get people open. No, you're the franchise guy. That doesn't mean that you need to give us 30 points a game. But the offense is atrocious.
Yeah, the offense is atrocious, but that's partially because of the same reason that we've been harping on for years. Like there's just like this mismatch of talent on the roster where you don't have anybody who can kind of like do. So we don't have a number one option. We just don't. Like I know people want to say Jimmy this and that for the playoffs, but on a consistent basis, we don't have a number one option. We don't have an elite playmaker that's able to set Bam up for some of the easier shots, and Bam is not a natural offensive player. All of those things combined leave you with a offense that dies at points in the game, and we saw that. Like I know there are people again. Like I know there are people who want to believe in kind of Tyler as this whatever, but it's just like he's an inconsistent player that cannot be tasked with leading your offense. And I think we saw some of that tonight. Like, I know you can blame Bam all you want to, but Tyler wasn't there tonight either. And like, I know every night people want to do this song and dance where they absolve him of blame and say, oh, well, you can't blame Tyler for us losing. Well, he's on a night like tonight, where was he? You feel me? So I want to start with the individual things. Martell, tell me what you thought of Tyler's game tonight.
See, like with Tyler, I mean, okay, so it's kind of like what you said. He was atrocious too, like on the defensive end. Guys were running straight through him. My thing about Tyler Herro is, so it's kind of like what you said, because the numbers are still terrible. When you look at him scoring 30 and 40 points or whatever it may be, we still lose. So, yeah, I mean, people are going to say, well, he has to shoot the ball. He has to carry the offense. Yeah, that's great. But with him leading this team offensively, it's still not enough to put us over the top. But this really all comes down to roster construction. And not to go back to Bam real quick, but I just think that people were expecting at least a 20-10 or at least a bigger leap, coming off the Olympics, seeing what we saw. So I think that's really why they really harp on Bam compared to Tyler, because we've been on Tyler's head for the past few years now. So,
No,
now
we
that
have not. You've been on Tyler's. Hold on, brother. You don't come out here just saying wild shit like that and expect
what you mean?
The Martell say we've been on Tyler's head. No, we have not, good brother. Pause. Hey, yo, like get your life together.
Cheers. But you know what I mean, though. But it's just that so now that they see Tyler being somewhat efficient and he's scoring, and so then now everybody wants to forget all the stuff that we've been going through. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just feel like people have I feel like people have kind of like done the Miami Heat thing where you kind of cast these players and you deluded yourself into believing they can be more than what they are. And when they show who they are, you make excuses for that because you want to be right about your original prediction. I think that people have elevated players, including Bam. Like I will admit, like I was one of those people who thought that Bam could potentially, if all the circumstances were right, could get up to that maybe 24, 25 point per game type shit, 25 and 10. I was wrong about that. I think that's unfair to who he is as a player. Like I don't think that people should have those expectations. I do think 20 is realistic. But again, like just like Tyler's hot start was inevitably going to come down and like level out, I think Bam's kind of slow start is going to balance out throughout the course of the season. So I think he will eventually get up to that 18, 19, 20 points per game, around 9, 10 rebounds. It's just right now, shit is looking terrible, bro. And that shit has not been good. Is it Royal Spoelstra forced? Look, when we talk about the issues with the front office, bro, again, I'm going to say this until people begin to understand what I mean. Like, Spo is a part of the problem in terms of how this roster is constructed. We've absolved Spo of blame because he is one of the greatest coaches of all time, and he's a great coach, the best coach in the league right now. But you cannot absolve Spo of things like people like Josh Richardson being on this roster, people like Duncan Robinson getting that big money. Like, those are Spo calls. Drew Smith. Like, those are guys that Spo wanted on this roster, and he has enough cachet within the building to be able to demand those things. So, like, when I talk about the front office, I don't want people to think I'm only talking about Pat Riley and Ellisberg. No, Spo is a part of the brain trust. Spo is a part of the front office. So when it comes to these shitbag ass players that are playing, that are like on this roster, Spo is a part of all of that. He is a part of the reason Haywood Highsmith is still out here. He's a part of the reason why people believe these absurd things, because he goes out here and preaches that we still trying to win championship. Bro, like it is. He said, and over Kellel available tonight. No, Kellel was out tonight, so he wasn't. So Thomas Bryant had to play. It's Tyler's team. Brother, Martell, I want to keep with the individual player thing. And one of the players that I want to get to next is Jaime Jaquez Jr., who's been struggling as of late, got to start tonight for Jimmy Butler. He had 19 points. But again, like I think we've seen a lot of these problems with Jaime's where he kind of gets this tunnel vision. He ain't always the most efficient in his play. And I thought it was pretty bad tonight, even though he did generate some things with us. How did you feel about the way Jaime played tonight?
Well, like what you noticed is that they put the ball in his hands. You know what I mean? Because I don't really think – I mean, he's a decent shooter when he has confidence, but when he doesn't have confidence, that's really the main thing. But I really did like how, he was setting guys up with the playmaking. And I think that's what we definitely have to lean into going forward. I mean, because whether people realize it or not, the future is a lot closer than what people believe. Bam is 27 years old. Jaime, he's not going to get any younger either. And these guys need these reps. Like I know a lot of people still want to talk about the Jimmy build going forward, but, guys like Jaime, which, I think he was playing hurt, closer like to the beginning of the season only because the explosiveness wasn't there. And I still think he's probably playing through something. I don't know. He just doesn't look like the same Jaime. Maybe it's a sophomore slump. Who knows? I mean, you could, kind of give me your opinion on that, but we weren't going to win this game anyway. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
you think it's like a sophomore slump?
No, I feel like Jaime came into this league as a 4-year college basketball player, and from the moment he got on the court, he was closer to his ceiling than he was to his floor. And people thought it was the other way. They thought because he came in competent, then he would come in. They thought because he came in competent that he was come in. They thought because he came in competent, they thought he would only grow from there and get better. And that's not how it works. Like progression is not a linear event. Like it's not just because the longer time I spend here, the better I'm going to get at the game. Sometimes you come in and you are who you are as a player. And I think once they got a little tape on him, the team scouted that little spin move that he had. You're seeing the results of people getting film on Jaime Jaquez. Do you still feel like it's more in there?
No, but not even that. He said that he worked on 3-point shooting and defense, and I haven't seen any of it. That was my biggest thing about this, Roy, is that he said he was working on his game. He never worked. I mean, from what we're seeing, it doesn't look like he worked on his game. The 3-point shot's not going in. The defense really isn't. It's been terrible from Jaime. And it's kind of like what you said. People believe the hype because he was a 4-year college player. And outside of that spin move, what is in his bag? Nothing.
So, like that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of it is like bully ball. Like put your head down, get to the rim at all costs. But I think he worked on the 3-point shot because that's out of necessity, though. That's not a part of his game that is there. Like he has to. Like that's something that he needs to add to his game. So he has to get more confident in taking it. And I think that goes into like his work over the summer was trying to gain more confidence. It just has not translated onto the court. I think most of like none of it. And the defense, like, yeah, it was cool, but defensively, I think there are limitations there. I think people believed last year he was a lot more athletic than he actually is. But yeah, he plays a good floor game, but I think tonight was a night against Boston. You putting the ball in his hands from the jump, asking him to play, making shit like that. That was a tall order for Jaime, and I just don't think that he's either ready or capable of like that being his role. So when you say we're a lot closer to the future than people realize, I agree because this summer will be a turning point. And if Jimmy Butler leaves and they don't trade Jaime Jaquez, that is your starting small forward.
Yep.
And so you said, feel the slender flow through your veins. Yeah. Let's go ahead and let's talk about Seamus Highsmith, who played 35 of the most garbage fucking basketball minutes I've ever seen in my life. He's useless, bro. And he has a terrible haircut. What did you think of Haywood tonight?
Roy, you already said it. This Miami Heat team has used this undrafted nonsense for way too long. You know, they think that they can just turn everyone into Gabe Vincent and Max Strus, and they don't understand. You need real NBA talent. You know, yes, you can get away in certain series and certain, you know, runs with certain players, but after a while, and especially when it's year after year after year after year, I don't understand if it's Mickey, Pat, Spo. I mean, they're all to blame because you are 100% right that Spo has sat up here and lied to Heat Nation talking about we have enough and wants to bring up Drew Smith. Why is Drew Smith on this roster? It makes absolutely no sense why we have guys like Drew Smith on this roster. I mean, don't get me wrong, Haywood Highsmith, he does play great defense, but when that corner three is not going in, what else is he really going to give you? And when you have this roster where half the roster is full of undrafted guys, you can only get so far every year. And especially when you have 2 seasons in the play-in tournament, and Pat, Spo, and Mickey want to look us in the face and continue to lie and say that we have enough. And I don't remember who said this earlier, but on the Twitter Spaces, it's very true that these Heat reporters are not asking the hard questions. Why is the roster built like this? Why have we been small since 2020? Every single NBA team has a competent big man, and all we have is Bam Adebayo. Kevin Love, he's too old. Thomas Bryant, he's clumsy. Khalil Ware, he's a rookie. Outside of that, there's no competent big on this roster.
And when they drafted Nikola Jovic, but he's not. He's out of the fucking rotation.
They're not using him the right way. That's the problem.
Well, they're not using him at all. Like, and I don't. What you mean they're not using him the right way? What do you think? He should be the point guard?
Not necessarily a point guard, but a playmaker. Because think about it like this: look at Bam. He's came out and said, "I don't want to play the 5 anymore." So what he's been saying that since last offseason, I don't want to play the 5. Same thing with Nico. When he came here, I'm not a 4 and I'm not a 5. So that tells me when you want to put them in those positions, they're not going to be successful because they don't even want to play those positions.
So Bam has the cachet to say something like that, and he waited until he grew the cachet. Nikola Jovic has done nothing in this league to say that I want to be a point guard and I think I should be, and anybody should fucking listen to that. Nico, he will not play point guard for any team in the NBA. He's going to be a 4 or a 5 for every. He may get a 3 on some shit rosters, but his role in the NBA on an NBA team will be as a playmaking wing 4, regardless of what he thinks. Want to thank Corey with the $10 donor. He said, "I'm done stating the obvious. I just want to appreciate your honesty and everything you guys do after each game. Take care, Corey. I appreciate you, brother, for staying locked in with us. Look, now, I ain't gonna lie. That's why I brought Martell up here because I wanted him to get an opportunity to plug his pod. And anybody who takes time to make content for this team, you should support them, bro. Like, this shit ain't easy. Like, this is a tough team to follow. It's a tough team to make content about because it feels at this point like you've said everything that there is to say about this roster. But sometimes they give you new and innovative scrubs to talk about, and that shit is always a pleasure to watch. You say, how many teams are the Heat legitimately better than? That's tough. That's a tough question.
My biggest thing though is, listen, I didn't think that this team was a championship team either. But why did everything go? Why is everything going wrong in terms of Terry? He can't make a jump shot to save his life. Bam Adebayo, he's out there looking like Draymond Green. Jimmy Butler, he's unavailable. Of course, Tyler Herro of all the seasons, all of a sudden now he's balling. So
you're cutting in and out, but I think I get your point.
All those things far. Yeah, everything is going the opposite way, and I think that's kind of what Miami Heat fans.
So listen, that boy getting a phone call, so he probably got out of here. But I think he was leaning in towards something so everything has not gone awry versus Miami. Okay, bet. But yeah, everything has not gone against Miami to turn them into this team. This is who Miami players have always been. They are getting exposed for they have been exposed so much in roles that they're not capable of fulfilling that the players that they always have been is being viewed as downgrade. So Terry Rozier, for example, when he came over here, because expectations for Kyle Lowry were so low, they expected anything to be an upgrade over Kyle Lowry. And then they saw the looter in a riot shit that Terry Rozier was doing over in Charlotte, and they thought some of that could translate if he was in a winning system. When the entire time Terry Rozier was just a little in the right. Heavy pick and roll usage over there with tall big man, and he was able to get some of those dumbass mid-range jump shots off. He cannot do that. Somebody called Bam Adebayo Ozempic Draymond. You are a diabolical human being. You are a diabolical human being. And then to the Bam thing and the Draymond Green thing, I don't view that as a slight anymore. I think at one point I would have been like, yeah, but he's way more talented. And he is. He is way more talented naturally than Draymond Green. But does that not feel like who he's always wanted to be? Like the anchor of a defense, a player who scores sometimes, and somebody who just wants to show off the fact that he has a high IQ and can pass the ball? Like doing a little bit of everything?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he is the ultimate connector. He is the third option on this team, no doubt. But it's like what I was saying before, like I got cut out.
He is not the third option on this team.
What do you mean?
Tyler Herro is the third option on this team.
No. So like what I mean by that is like if he is the ultimate connector in terms of obviously we're not going to expect the offensive stuff from Bam, clearly. But the reason why Miami Heat fans are pissed off is because we were used to seeing 20 and 10. So this huge drop off, and to where you look at Bam, he's not even looking at the rim. He's not looking to shoot the ball at all. Everything's flat. You know, he looks really timid out there. I think that's really what's upsetting Miami Heat. Like, so what happened? Why you're expecting
20 and 10, he's giving you 16 and 10. So it's like when you say huge drop off, it's 4 points per game. But again, we've talked about this a couple of times. So part of the reason why Bam isn't as aggressive on offense is because he's asked to do something different on a year in, year out basis. So this year, it was supposed to be a new offense. Now he's trying to integrate threes into his game. Bam is yet to find one aspect of his offensive game that he can be consistent at. Because every year we're asking him to do something else. He can never get good at one thing because the next year, because this roster lacks a playmaker. Okay, Bam, we need you to play make. And I'm taking this point from the spaces that we had earlier today, where it's like, okay, we don't have three-point shooting. Okay, Bam, now we need you to shoot threes. We don't have rebound. Okay, Bam, we need you to rebound too. Or we don't have perimeter defense. Bam, we need you to play the drop defense and simultaneously be able to switch out onto guards and guard 1 through 5. Like,
it's a shame.
At one point, does it be like, give this man some kind of grace? Whereas, like, we ask him to do everything. No one player can do everything. He's not LeBron James.
It's a shame. It's a real shame. And they don't understand. They are running him into the ground at 27 years old, having him run around, guarding 1 through 5, rebounding, shot blocking, defending. And it's just crazy because we all see this, and the front office is stubborn. They're stubborn in their ways. And like I said, they continue to sit up here and talk about Heat culture. They sit up here and lie. They are literally lying to us, talking about they have enough. We do not have enough, my man. We do not have enough.
They can't lie to me, Martell. I've seen through their wicked ways a long time ago. I just trying to tell people that people are just not starting to listen, which I appreciate y'all for finally being able to open your eyes and recognize. I'm just happy that we're all getting here together and being able to say that this team is bad. And, like, some people still believe that Miami should do something to improve this team now to try and make a run at it. I am not one of those people. I believe that people should begin to embrace the badness of this team. Basketball is a sport where they like, and again, I'm still in this point from our playback earlier, like they allow you ways to get better. And there's very clear avenues to do that. You either trade for a superstar or you're bad enough to draft one. And I think this is a draft class where people have routinely said that that this is one of the better draft class. I'm no college aficionado, but they said this is a great draft class to be bad in. Miami's bad. Continue to do that. Like, get worse. Get one of those lottery picks.
Yeah, but they're too prideful to do that. You know what I mean? They're trying. Yeah. But they don't understand is that you have to lose to win. How do these people think that we got D-Wade? You have to lose 1 to 3 seasons. Look at the Cavs. Look at the Orlando Magic. Look at the OKC Thunder.
They did it to try and get Derrick Rose. They tried to get Derrick Rose, and they ended up with Michael Beasley. But that year that Wade got hurt, they let that shit go. So they let the season done. But I agree with this statement right here. Bam can't be Draymond Green when that new contract kicks in. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He can't. But he can be if we supplement him with his version of Stephen Clay. Like if the offensive players around Bam are elite, then what Bam provides your basketball team will be seen as valuable. But because we don't have any elite offensive players on our team, we need Bam to be good at offense. And that's not who he is as a basketball player. But you were saying something, I cut you off and I apologize. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that the Miami Heat, they're being prideful. Listen, they're very caught up in this whole Jimmy Butler build. Pat Riley, he already knows he doesn't want to re-sign Jimmy. They would have done it already. So I just don't understand what the holdup is. You trade Jimmy Butler, 35 years old, his body's breaking down. You trade him for some picks, hopefully maybe one young player in return, and you move on. This was a great run. But sometimes you have to lose to win in this league. And we're seeing all these young teams around us doing that. They did that. They were the laughingstock of the NBA for years. And now look at them. They're on top. They're winning games. That is exactly what the Miami have to do.
Absolutely. Want to thank Corey with the $10 dono. Said these issues existed last year. He said, but the fans and the media fell for Pat Riley's spin job when he pushed the availability agenda and deflected the blame off the real problem, the front office. He would never point the finger at himself. And somebody said agreed, but they can't keep making Bam a role player to uplift role players. I think somebody said it. Bam is a superstar role player. I thought Tyler Herro, high-level role player. Bam is a superstar role player. We're going to bring in the host of our podcast, the Random Scrub Heat podcast, even though they never do episodes. My boy, LJ Castone. Why are we just staring at the flowers, LJ?
Because it's over. Pat Riley needs to put a gun to the back of this roster's head and pull the trigger. There's a term reset, and then there's the term blow it up. And we're at the point where you need to send some spies in to plant some bombs at the base of the building and execute the plan. Some people are going to get hurt. Some people will get hurt in the process, but retribution will be served in the utmost, most delicious way possible. And that's all we have to look forward to, because it's not the Miami Heat brand of basketball we're watching. Because how long have we been saying, Royal? How long have we been calling this offense prison hoops? Because that's a compliment. Now,
how has the basement been a thing?
What, 3 years now we've had to watch this?
Correct. Correct.
It's bad. It's really sad out here. And Mark said fire sale. He's right. I'll take anything. I know we said what did we say? Go GTA on their asses. Yeah. I can't wait for GTA 6. We're gonna get a new Tyler Herro is gonna be on this roster before GTA 6 comes out, and that's just something we all have to come to grips with. And I'm having a hard time doing that personally, but it's the reality that we live in. I wasn't even going to hop on because I'm working, obviously, but I saw Luke Cornett put Bam in a fucking straitjacket, and I had to come on and say something.
Speaking of, I don't know if you're going to stay for the show or probably dip out, but I want to hear where you are on the Bam discourse so far, because you have fan base that are pretty split on this. Where are you on Bam Adebayo so far this season? You can use this game to kind of pull examples from.
I've loved Bam's game and what he's brought as a person to the organization of the Miami Heat. What he does, he's a phenomenal human being, great in the community and everything. I love what he brings, the defensive intensity that hasn't obviously been there this season because they're just asking him to do too much. But with all the good that I've said about Bam, walk with me, he has never been good on offense, ever, in his entire career. Big man see ball, big man get ball. That's been Bam's offense. No bag Adebayo is what everyone used to call him before the bubble season. And then the year after the bubble season with the shortened lockout year, or not lockout year, but the shortened COVID year, Bam has never in his career been good at offense. He's been efficient at times because he didn't take a lot of shots, but he made them. Then he upped his ante, and every single year of his career, his numbers have gotten a little bit better. He has never been a player, because you said it earlier, I was watching on YouTube, he has never been a player that could just get you a basket. It's not his game. He's not an offensive player, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong. That's not a knock. The knock comes when you ask him to do everything, and then he's stuck with having to set the table on offense, rebound, pass. You're telling him to shoot threes. Now, I know the whole fan base was yelling at him to shoot threes too, and that's okay because I was one of them. I thought that would help his game. It has seemingly hurt his game, which was not on my bingo card. But
I don't think it's hurt him. I feel like
it gets him out of the paint, and they can't rebound for shit. So I think in that sense, it's kind of hurt him.
He's just kind of substituted He's just got to substitute the mid-range jump shot for the three-point jump shot. And if you're going to take an inefficient jump shot, might as well be a three where you can get more points out of it. So, like, the analytics of it makes sense to me. Like, so I don't really care. Like, again, I said this earlier. I don't care. And speaking of I don't care, Ant Donato's here. I don't care if Bam Adebayo is shooting 43% if he's shooting mostly threes. Like to be honest, because like you said, like, I'm not really looking at Bam as a 1 or 2 option in that regard. And you're on here. How are you doing today? And talk about the game tonight. Or you can just kind of stay on the Bam Adebayo topic.
Yeah, you don't really care how I'm doing. Do you? Or
I do not.
Okay.
I do not. We have on the same hat, and I don't like that.
Well, you know what this hat means, my friend Royal A. Shepherd. It means that I'm going to talk about an absolute legend who was born tonight. Listen, I see that.
Not on this network, you won't. I refuse to let. Now I'm gonna let you get your shit off. People have been like in high anticipation for Ant. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ant. Go
That's
ahead and
the
get
only
your
reason
lies.
I'm here. Miguel, I see you in the comments. Lenny, I see you. What's good, my boy? I see y'all going on. Last stream, you had Solo Royal, and I disappointed y'all. But now I'm back, baby. Listen, I'll tell you what you witnessed tonight. You witnessed the birth of an absolute legend by the name of Keshad Johnson. Now, I know he's 6'7", and he was guarding a 7-foot guy named Al-Qaeda, or whatever the hell his name is. But that boy is going to be one of the best players this organization has ever seen. A 6'7" center who's a mediocre three-point shooter, but he got bunnies. He's going to do wonderful things for this organization. So I really don't care that this Heat team lost by 19 because we saw the birth of a legend tonight.
Those 2 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 0 turnovers, 0 fouls really moved you, huh?
I never jumped off my couch so high. Oh, and Duncan did that little, and Keshad went,
Were you saying
good time,
when
man.
he had those 3 miscommunications on defense that resulted in wide open threes? Because I did.
Wow, you must be really fun at parties. Holy shit.
That's what my wife tells me.
But yeah, like, fuck Justin. Like, I was glad he got to play so that people could get that shit out their system. But like, bro,
hey, that's why I'm not optimistic Ant today, because I'd be grasping for straws. That's about all I had.
That shit was terrible. Martel, we're gonna throw this back in. Like, are you one of those Keshad Johnson people? Do you want him to be on this roster playing NBA minutes?
No, because then we're not a contender at the end of the day. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, is he a solid, future piece? But that's the problem with this roster. We're trying to make guys like him, lead us to the NBA Finals, and it just doesn't work like that. You need real NBA talent to win these primetime games if we're going to be considered as a legitimate team to contend for a championship.
I don't think that's in the cards for this year at all. I think this is a parity
Exactly.
season.
So I'm saying is like, he doesn't really move me. Whether he plays or not, he doesn't move me.
Okay, so you're where I am. Whether he plays or not is immaterial. Like, I don't give a shit if he plays. I don't give a shit if he doesn't. Like, we're not winning anything.
Keshad Johnson has more championships than Bam Adebayo. Don't forget it.
So does Drew Smith.
At what level of basketball? Are you like the G League?
Summer League. Put some respect on that banner. It's hanging in Kaseya Center proudly.
That is nasty work. Did they also acknowledge Khalil wears a first team all rookie summer league, whatever it is? Oh.
Yeah, it's right next to Dan Marino's jersey.
Man, what happened to the franchise
players
that
never
I
won
love?
anything.
Hey, where are you on the Bam Adebayo topic? Like, are you full blown like he stinks, he's regressed, he sucks, or are you on the he's been holding this team together for years. He can get one shit season. Like, where are you?
So I just think it's a mental thing with him. Obviously, the Hassan Whiteside comparison is out there, and Bam will never be as good as Hassan Whiteside. You know how I feel about that. I don't know why you're laughing. I'm being dead ass right now. I think it's the mental thing. Like, I feel like he's getting to his spots. He's getting to the dotted line, and he's just missing. Like, do y'all know that all he has to do is put the ball in the basket? Like, it's not, that's the only thing he's not doing, is literally being good at offense. That's it. If he could just fix that one thing, like, y'all act like he just needs to fix that one thing. He's getting to his spots. Listen, I actually thought it was really funny because Reed and Crotty, they were pissed tonight. Like, they were even bickering with each other, talking about that Drew Smith trip on Jaylen Brown. And then John Crotty was about to say, God damn, Bam, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's what he was about to say. And then Bam had that dunk on Cornette. So even they were getting frustrated. But I feel like Bam is getting to those mid-range spots. His touch is just ass, but you don't lose that kind of touch in an offseason. Like, it's a mental thing.
No, his touch has never been good.
He was bottom line last year, LJ.
But see, that's
never been good.
So that's like, but that's what I was talking about. Like, it's like a 1 year thing where like he's good at something for 1 year and they let him do it, and then the next year, now, Bam, we need you to shoot threes because you're good at. So like, Bam has been practicing shooting threes, and now it's like you can't keep the mid range shooting threes.
Before this season started, is Bam Adebayo a good mid-range shooter? How would you answer that question?
Define good, because I think in order to be worthy of the contract they gave him, you need to be a very good offensive and defensive player for a max contract.
This offseason, just yes or no, is he a good mid-range shooter? Because I would have said yes.
I'd say he's fine, which I guess is in the umbrella of good, so sure.
Royal Martell, would y'all say yes?
I think I would have said yeah. I think I would say good-ish. like
good can carry some weight, so it depends on how much weight you really attribute.
He's not Chris Bosh, but like
right. I would say Chris Bosh is a very good mid-range shooter.
So, but Bam, capable mid-range shooter, wouldn't have like that to me feels fair. Like,
and do you think you lose that in just an off season? Like, I don't think you just lose.
No, it's still part of his game, but it's like Royal said earlier, the mid-range jump shot's dead. He's scaled that back in terms to shoot more threes, and
so
his clip for a stretch there was actually pretty good as a 3-point shooter.
So it helps the mid-range thing when that's the only shot that you're taking. So it's decisive in the area. Like, you're either dunking the ball or I'm taking a mid-range jumper. But when you ask him to step out to the 3-point line, you've added another dimension for him to think about when he touches the damn ball. Do I shoot the three? Do I drive? Do I drive to pull up for a mid-range jumper? And that bit of indecisiveness fucks up his whole game because Bam needs to, like, his offensive plan needs to be very, like, slim. Like, it needs to be you need to tell him you can do these 3 things to score the ball. And if you give him 3 things that he can do, then he will do those 3 things. But he has so much shit that he has on his plate to be able to do offensively. Like, I think it's just getting lost in translation, like where his spots are, what they need to be in order to maximize this offense. Want to thank Nasty Man for the $5 long. He said, need NBA talent. Let me introduce you to Josh Christian. All right. You could have kept your $5 if you wanted to say shit like that. Some information overload. I believe that Bam could be suffering from that. Let me ask you this question, Ant. I'm sorry. Like, you just bringing up the most ridiculous point, so this conversation is going to bounce back and forth. Where is the optimal spot for Bam to score from in this within the flow of this team and offense? Where is it?
So I can tell who actually watched. This is just in reference to your response to my GOAT scale daddy. I can tell who watched Summer League basketball and who didn't. You put some respect on Josh Christopher's name, goddammit, okay?
First of all, I'm a freak bull too when it comes to that. So I definitely was watching Summer League games. Like, that's when the basketball season starts for me.
Hey,
I'd be excited.
I feel bad for Heat fans that didn't. That's the most fun I had watching basketball in 6 years.
Their offense was entertaining.
Bro, I said this shit at the time. I was like, it's a fucking shame that Miami Heat, like, we want to get past, like, the undrafted scrub era, because this is the greatest collection of scrubs that they've had probably ever. And it's like, all of them should get a chance on the roster if we're going to have Thomas Bryant on here. Like, let them go out there. I'm sorry, but go ahead. Answer my question. Where's the optimal spot for Bam to score within the flow of this offense?
Well, I think I personally would like to see him get the most shots on the team. And me saying that, I think that means from everywhere. But it's kind of what you're saying is he hasn't figured out how to do that yet. Information overload, being used too much, not knowing.
He's not that type of player. He's not LeBron James.
Yeah, but when I'm saying most, I'm talking, you don't think he can take 20 shots a night?
I don't think he should. No. I used to be there. Like, I used to be there. I used to be, when I thought Bam could get into like a 23-ish to 25-ish range of scoring, I used to be there where it's like, okay, I want to see him take 20 shots a night. I just want to resign to the fact that, like, he wants to be the superstar role player. He wants to be the connector. So give him 2 players who will take those 20 shots and let him connect their games. Let him be the unifying force of 2 superior talents. But like at this, I don't look at him as one of the 2 players who I'm looking to anchor my offense.
Well, the reason I believe he should take 20 shots a game, and I guess it does answer your question, is in the paint. That is where he's best, is because I'm looking at these centers that he's getting matched up against. Sabonis, Nurkic, Taj Gibson, Jakob Poeltl, Luke Cornett. There's a lot of slow-footed, bum-ass, white, old-ass centers in the league that he should be dominating from a physicality standpoint. And I think it's his mentality and his lack of aggressiveness that's allowing him not to do it.
And
If
his
he
lack
can get
of
over
like
that
offensive
hurdle,
skill.
I don't think it's a skill issue. I don't.
I don't think
I
Bam
think
has
it's
a
way more
clean enough.
mental.
I think it's mental. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a mental thing, but I just think like there's a realization that I'm having about like his actual skill level versus his perceived skill level. Yes, Bam is a more skilled center than the traditional ones, but he also like 6'9", but he's not a 6'9" ball handler like KD or Brandon Ingram or no shit like that. Like he's clumsy with the ball at times. His hands are bad at times. So those things also hinder him from being able to take those guys off the dribble. I'm not expecting Bam to dribble drive past nobody.
I think that's the problem, is that Bam's mentality, he wants to be Josh McRoberts on steroids. Like, that's how he plays the game. Like tonight in the fourth quarter, they put together a little itty bitty baby run, and then he sets a fucking pick for Drew Smith. He has the ball, opts to give it to Drew Smith instead of taking an off balance Cornet to the basket. It's like you developed the lane perfectly on the fake, and then you just hand it off to Drew Smith to double coverage. Like mentally, I don't care how slow footed you are or how offensively inept you are. If you can't take if you opt to hand off to Drew Smith on a pick and go, it just, oh my God, it pisses me off. It just really makes me upset.
Martel, I'm going to ask you the same question. In this offense, within the scheme of like what they're trying to do, where's the ideal place for Bam Adebayo to get the ball and score?
Well, it's going to have to be in the mid-range. That's where he's looked the most comfortable. I mean, like when you look at last season, he was money from that shot. And then the fact is like what you said, it's like you have to sit down and tell Bam, we need you to do this, because once he gets more than that, it's like what you said, he's very decisive. When he's at the top of the key, sometimes it's like we're forcing him to shoot those threes. You see what I'm saying? And he doesn't look comfortable shooting those threes at all. I mean, yeah, we've seen him in the Olympics or whatever the case may be, but when you really look at him within the game time reps, he does not look comfortable shooting those threes. They got to do something because more of this offense should be running through him, and I thought that's what Spo was going to do. He needs to be put back in that mid-range area. I mean, his post game really hasn't been the best ever, and it's like someone just said it like in the comments. He's really never been this great offensive talent, and the fact that we've been able to get 30 balls and 35-point games from him, it's a huge accomplishment. But we definitely got to run the ball through Bam more in that mid-range shot where he's comfortable.
I think I disagree because I don't think that's what Miami wants to do. Look, the only way for him to get comfortable with the three-point line is to shoot that motherfucker. And if people believe, okay, Bam in the center and Miami drafted Khalil Ware to eventually be able to pair next to Bam, then Bam needs to be comfortable and proficient at the three-point line. BB, you gave us $2 with the silent bucks, but we're going to go back to your comment before, and I'll read that. He said again, why is Bam bringing the ball up every single play? Because we don't have a point guard. Why can't he sprint to the low post? Because nobody can throw an entry pass. Turn over the shoulder and go up strong? Because he does not have a post game. 8 years in, and we should be able to do that. But we can't. We can't. Like, so many things that we want Bam to do. Part of it is because he has a skill limitation that doesn't allow for him. So part of it is because he has a height limitation. And the other part is a roster construction problem. There are several things that play into why you do it. But again, Marcel, the reason that they've tried to eliminate the mid-range game, which is good for Tyler Herro, but it's horrible for Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like Bam is clearly not comfortable. And of course we want him to shoot threes. But it's like what everyone's saying. He's not a natural offensive type guy. So now we want him to fucking shoot threes, to attack the rim. And it's sad that we have to like literally force it out of him, but that's just not the type of player who he is or wants to be.
So Alan, like is this a Bam issue or is this a Spo issue? Where you said dude doesn't know if he's a three-point shooter, mid-range, facilitator, etc. Isn't it Spo's job to define his role? What if the role that you're given is do everything? Like, because you're capable. Why guys debating on where Bam should score? He's not that good of an option because there's no world in which Bam Adebayo can be on this team as a max player and have no role in the offense. That's why we're talking about it. LJ, I'm going to let you round out this conversation. Where is the ideal place for Bam to score?
At the rim. End of discussion. It's because Spo insists on playing him as a 5. You need your 5 unless they're like Spo wants him to be like Andrea fucking Bargnani, and it's like just go outside and shoot, and it's like, but Bam needs to be at the paint, like in the paint. I guess the far out is I'd want him to go, regardless of if an offense breaks down, because we know that he can shoot the 3. So I'm okay with him taking a couple 3s a game. Taking 5 or 6, that's too many. You need to park your ass down in the paint and get like fucking Marc Gasol. Like that, you need to just get your ass in the paint and do your damage there. Get some offensive boards, get you in rhythm, because we know that we've watched it now for how many years where it's like his whole game is kind of dependent on how that first shot goes. He's way too wishy-washy on his own momentum, where if he's going to miss that first shot, if he bricks that first shot, you're like, oh shit. What is he? How many more is he going to take now? If that first shot goes in, it's like, okay, maybe we're cooking. But that's the whole problem with his whole mentality is Spo doesn't do a very good job of putting him in the right position to succeed. A lot of bad knees out there. Oladipo's not on this team anymore. Stop that. We have Spo wants him to go down. You draft Khalil Ware. You have someone to pair with him if you wanted him to space the floor. Khalil can space the floor. I don't know. When Bam was not at his best, but when his potential was at his highest, is when you had other players like a Myers Leonard playing the 5 and you let Bam roam at the 4 a little bit. It made their defense a little more amoeba-ish in a good way. You know, football references with amoeba. Offensives don't know what to expect. You have everyone standing everywhere. There's no set key point where a Bam could be, where a Jimmy could be. And you know how good the defense can be when Jimmy's roaming. If you put someone else there at the 5 and let Bam roam a little bit because he can expand his game now, I thought that was the whole fucking point of him expanding his game to the 3. You can play him as a 4. You can have someone to help rebound at a 5. They get killed in the playoffs every year because what one thing? The rebounding. That's what stopped all the playoff pushes was rebounding. They couldn't get a board when they needed to get a board. I know I'm fucking yapping like crazy. It's just annoying to me how the same issue has been persistent, staring you dead in the eyes for half a decade, and you don't, when you do make a right draft pick to kind of address it, you don't even implement it. You don't even use it or try it out a little bit.
I think the Khalil Ware thing is a year away from being like manifested. Like I feel like if he was ready to play, the Spo would have at least went to it. Like I think they had a function.
Like I get it.
But like I think he's the ideal one that you want to put next to him. But at the end of the day, you do that, and then all of a sudden you have no bench big man, and so you lose whatever advantages you gain once you go to the bench.
Watch Thomas Bryant on this team, isn't that his
man? Role? Thomas Bryant and Kevin Love and Nikola Jovic. Like all I'm saying is like there's been a hodgepodge of kind of like talent and decisions that have kind of ended us in this state right now. And I commend Heat fans who believe that there should be optimism out there in the world, that there are people who think that this roster can somehow manufacture some level of contention, but it is fake. And you should like just embrace the idea that this core will not work, has not worked. Blow that bitch up. They say forget a year, play them now. It's not like they're competing. Look, that's why I have no argument for that. Like I have no argument against it. Let him go out there and get killed for a year so that he learns what the NBA is like. But I don't know. We'll go around the horn one time with final thoughts before we kind of begin to wrap this up. Martel, we'll start with you. Final thoughts, bro.
Cooper Flag, my man. Cooper Flag. We have an aging star. We have
no more white saviors.
We have an aging star. How did we get D-Wade? Sometimes you have to lose to win. Obviously, Miami Heat fans don't want to hear that, but we have an aging superstar whose body's breaking down in front of us. You have multiple teams, allegedly, who might take him off our hands. We have to go full focus on that. And like I said before, the future is a lot closer than what people realize.
Yeah, no more white saviors. So if we're going to draft, then I'm drafting Ace Bailey or one of the other ones. LJ, final thoughts.
Get ready to learn 15th overall pick. They're going to miss the lottery by the smidge of their teeth, the same way that they always do. And they'll probably make a fine pick. But in a draft like this, when you have timeline-changing type players that can completely flip the process of an organization on its head, you got to just take one on the jaw. Like, you really just got to smile and eat it. Pause, resume, write it down, print it, post it. You have Ace Bailey, like you said. You have Cooper Flagg. There's another dude, too, that I kind of forget the name of. He's like that third guy in that rotation. That's like franchise-altering type of player, too. You got to just take it. Every last inch. And you got to just hope to God that the lottery gods are on your side. Because you got the Lakers coming up. Then you got the Suns. And then the Cavs. And then the Thunder. And then who knows if Pollo Ranchero's back for Orlando when you play them. Who fucking knows? You're looking at a lot of fat L's down the bracket. So you start losing early, baby. If you start losing in December, you got a better chance when that lottery comes around. So just pick a fucking direction. We've been saying that for how many years, though? Will they do it? Nah, they'll ride the pine. They'll stay on the straight and narrow, baby, and they will get that 15th pick.
Ride the pine, straight and narrow. Two very questionable phrases out of your mouth.
I got 6 of them in that entire soliloquy. If you're
brother, listen, don't worry about it. I kind of, for personally, will review the tape for the other 2 violations level. Paulo Banchero, yes indeed. And final thoughts for the spaces before we get the picks for the next game.
Hey, is your shirt a shot at Pat Riley?
Bro, sometimes I do things and I just kind of like let it sit, bro. You know what I mean? Like I just do things. No, it wasn't intentionally, but this shirt now is a Pat Riley shirt. I'm gonna have his face printer on it.
Because I just noticed that, and that's excellent. You have to bring that shirt back. I need that as a loss shirt after every loss. You got to go to that. But no, listen.
I'll be wearing this shirt every goddamn day.
Listen, everyone's starting to think the same thing here. I even heard Tobin call Bam Ozempic Draymond, and I thought that was the most disrespectful thing I ever heard until LJ just called him Josh McRoberts on steroids. But I want to clarify because I was just looking up in the background here for anyone that might be confused. So it looks like the Heat don't have their 2025 pick, but that's because it is lottery protected, correct?
Yeah, that's right. If they get outside the lottery, then it's done so. Yeah,
because I understand all this, tank talk, and the reality is they never will. And even if they tried, they won't be bad enough to get a top pick. That's just the reality of it. Now, they typically can find these gems in the draft in, the 13, 14 range. We've seen it with guys like Bam and Tyler and Jaime. But I don't know. I just think that's dumb to keep bringing up because it's never going to happen. The more realistic route is moving on from Jimmy Butler. And as a guy who would have gave that a 0% chance of happening 2 months ago, I'm starting to see the writing on the walls. I really am.
Don't you think giving up on Jimmy Butler is essentially them admitting to that they're going to tank? Like, because realistically, what are you trading Jimmy Butler for? You're trading him to the Golden State Warriors for Jonathan Kuminga and some picks?
Yeah, I was just talking like the losing on purpose talk. Like losing on purpose is not going to do anything. Like you actually need
to. Is them trading Jimmy Butler not an admission that we are about to lose?
It's the closest we'd get to one.
Yeah, You think if this team trades Jimmy Butler, they're gonna miss the playoffs?
Hold on, Nasty Man. Oh, I'm sorry, Nasty Man. I missed it. Nasty Man, I appreciate you for the $20 donation. He said, "Hear me out. Herro, Duncan, Jimbo, Bam. Where then first off the bench, Herro, Pele, Jimbo, Love, Bam. Save the small hoop for a matchup." So wait, you only changing Bam in like Love, Ware, Duncan, and Pele. That's it. Like Love and Pele are the only 2 players that you're playing off the bench. This is a 7-man rotation. No, I hate the idea of starting. Like I want to start Terry Rozier again. Like I just.
Hey, if you're trying to tank, that give him the minutes.
Let's do this thing, baby.
That's a good way to miss the playoffs.
Honestly though, like what is benching Terry Rozier solved? It's solved nothing.
I have to watch him for 24 minutes instead of 30 now.
You could do that as a starter. I mean, let's take your token starter tonight, Duncan Robinson. You had to watch him for 20 minutes. Got 22 minutes from Terry Rozier.
Did Duncan lay an egg?
Duncan Robinson shot 2 for 9, 0 for 6 from 3.
0 for 6 from 3. Okay, laid an egg from 3. All right.
Yeah, he said it'll drop his
Starting
back.
shooting guard.
Terry lead us to the lottery. Hey, bro, I'm starting to. Hey, brother, fuck is you talking about? I'm getting there. I'm getting to the promised land one way or the other. But yeah, like this team is. It is what it is. Like it's hard to be disappointed in this team anymore for me. Like I don't have any expectations. My expectations are that they are a lottery team. So if they do anything above a lottery team, brother, no more white saviors. Y'all not gonna get Cooper Flag propaganda here. But like
On the Random Scrub Heat podcast, you might. If I ever record another episode.
If he ever does it, shout out to LJ. LJ hold that Twitch down by his lonely, the Basement Sports Gaming. But that damn Random Scrub Heat podcast gets no love from him. I'm pretty sure Harry's living his best life because he refused to do the pod anyway.
Harry sent me a link on Amazon. It was just like a rope and a stool, and he said, "Buy this for me." So I don't know if y'all are good at playing connect the dots, but
he said you guys went from slander to depression real fast, brother. There's no depression here. There's only optimism, brother. Because please believe, the minute this season is over, I will be tuned in to what college basketball has to offer. Because I think the Miami Heat are going to be a top. They don't get them a top 10, bottom 10 team in the league. Like this team bad. This team bad. What are you going to tell me? No Jimmy-led team, no Spo coach team can be that bad?
No, I was gonna say serious question, all three of you. Let's say this team was to trade Jimmy Butler for the Warriors package.
Mm-hmm.
They missed the playoffs because I think they still make it.
they're in the play-in 100%. What they do in the play-in remains to be seen, but they will be in the play-in.
I don't think there's anything that they can do to miss the play-in. The East fucking sucks.
Well, that's my point. Like,
but they can still be a lottery team and a play-in team at the same time.
Sure, that's fair.
Yeah, Martel, what do you think? Like, if they trade Jimmy Butler, like, where they?
Yeah, play-in team. Yeah, because the East is so bad, but this Miami Heat team, they don't want to lose, and that's the problem. Pat, Spo, Mickey, and all them boys, they're so stubborn. They don't want to lose. They want to continue to tell us that they have enough when they don't clearly have enough. But if they give me but if you give me Kuminga and maybe 1-2 first-round picks, I'm good with that.
But that's why you're starting to hear shit about like trading Terry Rozier and Jovic. Like that is the team. Like if they go that route, that's how you know Miami's still on that same bullshit. If they trade Terry Rozier, they're going to try and do like the Kyle Kuzma thing. Blew my fucking mind that I saw that. Don't link me to Kyle Kuzma. I don't want 6'9" Terry Rozier. Like I don't want him on my roster. He stinks. Let's not do that. So next game, the Miami Heat, another team that's also not great, but we in front of the holes. We're playing the Lakers. Martel, the boy feeling good?
Nope, that's another L. Especially if Jimmy Butler's not playing, and that's what I don't understand about this franchise. They see that Jimmy Butler's breaking down. They see that Jimmy Butler's not available. So how on earth are we going to win the NBA Finals? How on earth are we going to be a competitive team within the Eastern Conference to win a championship when our best player is not available?
Even when he was available, they were fucking terrible. LJ, the boy feeling good?
If the goal is to miss the playoffs, yes. I'm feeling good. Because once the Miami Heat catch wind, come around midseason that pick is only lottery protected in a very strong draft, and there's a possibility they might not get a little piece of the pie. I think you're going to see something uncharacteristic happen. I think you're going to see them choose a direction that is unfavorable for the next month or two of the season. And that's my hot take. Harry's not here, so I have to do it. I think you're going to see them make a difficult decision this season that really shows you what direction they're actually going to head in, because they're losing to the Lakers. LeBron James, triple-double incoming. It's going to happen. You look at the rest of these games, too. It's nasty. It's really, like, they could very easily, 2 weeks' time, be 7 games under 500. Like, easily. Like, that's not even, like, playing it safe. Like, they very easily could be teeter-tottering closer to 10 by the new year. Like, these are things that can realistically happen that will make them maybe ease more into the idea of letting go of the rope, so to speak. But for the Lakers game specifically, that's a loss. And I'm not upset about it.
Yeah, especially if Jimmy Butler's not playing. Like when LeBron James steps on the court, he'll be face to face with Haywood Highsmith, and he will laugh, and he will be right for laughing at Haywood Highsmith. And don't start with your
How many
foolishness, bro.
how many points Jason Tatum was held to tonight?
Bro, let's not do this, Anthony Gennaro. How many points was Jaylen Brown held to tonight?
30 something maybe.
If he was
I'm talking about Haywood Highsmith, not Haywood Highsmith.
if Haywood Highsmith was stopping niggas, why didn't we put him on Jaylen Brown?
Because he was guarding Jason Tatum. What the hell?
Y'all see that possession where Tyler Herro had Jason Tatum in fucking handcuffs? Y'all see that possession?
That doesn't help my Haywood propaganda.
Did you see that possession where Tyler Herro drove underneath the rim and got his shit packed up by Luke Cornett? I saw that one. Pelicans not giving all that up. Nah, the Pelicans.
I got my Luke Cornett Funko Pop right here.
Oh my God! Did you just turn Luke Cornett into a black man? The boy feeling good.
It'll be fun to watch LeBron, so I'll take that.
Will it be though? Like LeBron wasn't fun to watch tonight.
I heard Eric Reed. He ended the game today by saying, "Well, you got to respect the Celtics' greatness." No, fuck that. I don't have to respect shit, but I do respect LeBron's greatness. So I will be doing that on Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't really care what pick OKC gets next year from us, as long as we get the pick in the super draft this year. Like that's the point. When we were talking about tanking for Wembanyama, like that looked like that would have been a good idea. You should probably listen to us this time. Tank for one of these young bulls that's going to do it. I'm not going to lie to you guys tonight. The Miami Heat are losing that game to the Los Angeles Lakers. It just feels inevitable. Jimmy Butler's not going to play. Yeah,
my finger was on the button, man.
Yeah, but Anthony Davis is giving Bam a 50. But like, I would be more confident if Bam was like playing like somebody who could at least pinch them motherfuckers. He's gonna get abused by Anthony Davis. He's gonna get abused by LeBron James. Like Dalton Knecht is gonna fry Tyler Herro's face off, and without Jimmy Butler being there to distract people, Tyler Herro is gonna look like Tyler Herro. So I mean, I'm gonna win in that regard. Like, I'm going to win with this Tyler Herro agenda one way or the other. You motherfuckers, y'all going to keep on with this he's taking the leap shit. And at the end of the season, I'm going to point to that 20-point per game average, 4 rebounds and 5 assists. And I'll be like, I told you so. Water reaches his level. He's playing above his head. Well, not right now. He was terrible tonight, by the way. But he's been terrible in other games, too. And y'all just ignore that shit because he's been so good other games.
All right,
I'm going to let you. I'm going to try to
we got to cover all our bases. I want to make sure you look good. Yeah. So can you lie to us real quick about Wednesday?
Sure, no problem. If you're worried about whether or not the Miami Heat are going to perform in front of the hoes, I'm here to let you know that he's about to blow that shit out. What is you talking about? Fuck LeBron James. Big should have never left. Tyler Herro, he, Austin Reeves, who? Fuck is he talking? Look, bro, D'Angelo Russell coming out here. We're going to show y'all the real D'Angelo Russell. We got D'Angelo Russell 2.0 coming off the bench, wearing that deuce on his back right now. Terry Rozier, hezzy tween, step back. It's going in, this game at least. It ain't been going in the rest of the time, but this time we're going to pray it in, and it's going to work. Duncan Robinson bounce back game. Thomas Bryant revenge game. I remember when LeBron James scored the most points in NBA history. Thomas Bryant had his man sealed in the post, calling for the ball, and LeBron called him out. We get that back in blood. So, bro, when you come down the lane, oh. My bad. All right. Don't make me do that. Thank you guys in the comments as always for joining the show, making it much more fun than it would have been without you. Thank you to my boys LJ and Ant for pulling up, and my guy Martell from the Miami Heat Zone podcast. Martell, plug your pod. Where can people find it?
The Miami Heat Zone on YouTube. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. We will see you guys when the next game is. Oh, the 4th. So we got 2 days off. We'll see y'all. Not 2 days, but a day, I guess. We'll see y'all on Wednesday. Yeah, we'll see y'all on Wednesday. Try to get me.
Oh yeah, we packing somebody up tonight.